Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Alexander Grace.
So I got dumped because I asked a man to pay for everything.
Makes sense.
He ran. He literally ran away after I said that. That one comment made him throw everything away. Do you guys think that I was in the wrong?
Yeah,
I think if you really like someone, you're not gonna dump them over one comment.
No, you dumb. Dumb fuck.
And I really liked him, so I was begging for him back. I still was begging for him back. And he said that it already put a sour taste in his mouth and that he doesn't want to talk
Me and Alex is just like...
Of course he doesn't. Why would he? Just blanket asking a man to pay for everything is ridiculous.
This is so stupid. You know what? She's not alone. I've dated enough now to have actual women ask me to pay for things on first dates. Isn't that crazy? Even my vetting skills, I mean, I tell you guys, I vet pretty well sometimes through the chatting and bit before I want to book a date. Still get a girl that's just straight up, you take care of some bills? No, you dumb idiots.
If you want to show a man that you see him, that you value him and appreciate him, you wait until he pays for things and then you show appreciation. That's how you make a man feel respected.
You have to ask your husband to buy something. That's financial abuse.
It's called respect. It's called respect. It doesn't matter what situation you're in, if you're both working or just the man is working, it's called respect.
That's right, but women don't think in terms of respect because for a woman, it's not important that she's respected. She wants to be liked. Have you ever stopped and really listened to how much women talk in terms of being liked?
Yes.
I like someone, I really liked him. If you like someone, liked him, maybe he just doesn't like me enough.
In the female world, the only currency worth paying attention to is whether or not you are liked. That's why respect is not even on her radar. This is one of the great gender divides, okay? Remember this always. Men want to be respected, women want to be liked. And this can cause huge problems inside a relationship. It's a struggle when women don't look outside of themselves to actually empathize with the male experience. Women do not understand how existential respect is for men. There was a survey of 400 men that was done where 74% said that if they were forced to choose between being abandoned and left alone versus being disrespected and feeling inadequate, they would choose to be alone.
You guys heard that? 74% are willing to be alone than to be disrespected. Midtown. That's why it's growing, and women cannot bring men back because women are just filled with disrespect.
Men would quite literally rather be unloved than disrespected. You see, women cannot understand this. They don't think like that. They think like this.
I'm disgustingly desperate to be loved. Disgustingly desperate to be loved.
Why though? Why are women like this? Well, I think the better question is, why wouldn't they be? Men and women have been subject to very different social pressures in our evolutionary history. Men seek social connection in a broad group with multiple people by competing for a good position in the status hierarchy. Women, in contrast, seek social connection in close personal relationships based on mutual dyadic intimacy. Just think how different success looked if you were a man or a woman. If you're a man and you want to survive, then you've got to be top dog. You got to climb that hierarchy, claim power. That's your best chance of surviving and your best chance of being chosen by a woman. That's what makes you sexually attractive, your status. Being likable doesn't increase your status as a man. Being respected does, but it is the complete opposite for women. I'm going to explain that in a moment. Feminists complain that men and women are treated differently in the workplace. No shit. What exactly did you expect? Men and women are different. Why wouldn't they get treated differently? When it comes to the male employee, nobody cares if he smiles, they care if he gets the job done. Not true for women. They can be great at their job, but they will be criticized if they don't smile. And while I don't resonate with that on a personal level because I care more about competence, this double standard is always going to exist because we instinctively look to women to provide social harmony. Evolutionary pressures over countless generations carved out women's role as emotional attunement, social well-being, relationship maintenance. This is what we always relied on women to provide, and so naturally they're going to be judged based on how likable they are. And yes, it's a complete double standard. Nobody cares if the man's grumpy, but if the woman doesn't smile, everyone calls her a bitch. And while women might consciously object to this, if you ignore their words and just observe their behavior, you'll see that they completely agree with this. The evidence is clear. Women specifically seek out workplaces and jobs where they are more likely to be judged based on how likable they are rather than their competence.
Why don't we see 51% of the construction workers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the engineers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the plumbers, electricians, military, train operators, heavy, dangerous work as women? Because when given an opportunity, women segregate themselves into more comfortable positions. Men do the dangerous work to build society.
Okay,
That's your place.
that's my place.
Men are drawn to environments where they will be respected.
Damn right.
Women are drawn to environments where they will be liked. I know that this is offensive to politically correct sensibilities, but just put aside your cultural brainwashing for just a moment and listen to the truth of your biology, because this completely directs the flow of sexual energy. You recovering nice guys out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Women saying, "Oh, you're such a great guy. You're like my little brother. I like you so much." Endless compliments about how likable you are. But will she fuck you?
No.
Because women
My
are
man.
only sexually attracted to men that they respect. And the same is true in reverse. I bet you men listening right now, you can think of a woman that you respect, but you have no sexual attraction to. You would never date her. You
True.
respect her, but she's not likable. As a straight man, you are wired to respond sexually to femininity, to women who are at peace with their true nature. And what is a woman's nature? What is her power? Her strength is connections, social bonds, relationships. Women never had men's brute strength. Their survival was linked to their social currency. Being liked was everything. A
Makes
kind
sense.
woman with strong relationships who's well liked by everybody, she was powerful.
She's the community leader.
Influence. She had credibility. Every single high school girl knows exactly what I'm talking about. Popularity is power. You increase your status by being likable, by having people like you. And that is what makes the modern generation of women so weird to contemplate.
My New Year's resolution is to get louder, more annoying, bitchier, and overall a bigger problem than previously thought.
What is this? What the hell is going on? This modern generation of women is completely lost. They are quite literally at war with their own femininity. They hate their own instincts. They hate the fact that they want to be likable, and so they rebel against it as though wanting to be liked is some kind of weakness or something. Can you
It is for men.
appreciate how weird this is? How just fundamentally unnatural? Women talking like this is
True.
the female equivalent of a bunch of men walking around saying, "I don't want to be respected. I want more people to lose respect for me. I want to be disrespected more often."
I get
Has
it, I get
any
it.
man ever had that as their New Year's resolution?
Hell no.
Of course not. It would be batshit crazy. So what the hell are women doing? They've lost their minds.
They're batshit crazy. You
It's
just
so
said
sad.
it.
They've completely lost faith in themselves, in the feminine path to power. They can have everything that they want, the safety, the admiration, if they just embrace their true identity as
True.
women. But they're lost. We've got this generation of women that for some reason want to be men.
I come on this app all the
Because that's what feminism pushed. Is for them to be the worst of the worst top tier men that just sleep around, don't care about people's feelings, have no empathy, narcissistic type personalities.
time, and I tell you guys to start acting like men. I tell you to be selfish like men are. I tell you to only look out for yourself the way that men do. And every single time I'm met
what
with
I said.
women saying, I shouldn't have to act like a man. I'm not a man. It's not fair that I live in a man's world. I shouldn't have to act like them. They're bad people. I shouldn't have to act like them. Now more than ever, you don't have the luxury of being able to decide how you would prefer to act if you want to be treated with respect and you want any kind of leverage or power in this world. You have to act like a man. You need to be selfish. You need to move selfishly. That little fairy tale shit that you were fed growing up is just that, a fairy tale. It is not real. We do not have the luxury of being able to step into our divine feminine. If your divine feminine still makes you a victim, then it's not very useful, is it? Act like a man. You need to be selfish and leave the fairy tale behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you feminism in its final form. Feminism, the movement to uplift women, to empower them. Where does it end? Like this, with women wanting to become men. How exactly does acting like a man make you an empowered woman? How does that make sense? How do so many women believe this? We are collectively living in a Monty Python episode.
Before you get in my comment section saying gender wars, social media, gender wars, pick up a fucking history book. This has been the case long before social media was a thing. Pick up a fucking history book and take your head out of your ass.
Serious question. Do you think that women like this can actually tell the difference between what is a real history book versus a feminist ideology book that rewrites history for its own political motives? They are so confident in their narrative, but do you think they would be able to find a hunter-gatherer tribe anywhere that exists now, or just in anthropology books, where the relationship between men and women was defined by exploitation rather than cooperation? If this kind of thinking succeeds, there will be no gender differences. They will just be squashed and flattened, and that's a tragedy. We don't need to compete. We can cooperate. Yes, at a biological, instinctual level, you and your girlfriend fear very different social catastrophes. You're scared of being disrespected. She's scared of being abandoned. You don't want to lose status. She doesn't want to be disliked and rejected. And there's nothing wrong with either of you. The problem is that our culture does not adequately educate us about these gender differences. And so men and women get into relationships and they're constantly fighting because they don't understand each other. That's why I'm going to spend the rest of this video teaching you how to take this insight and actually apply it at a practical level to reduce conflict in your relationship.
I mean, it really goes to show what they really think of men. They think men are just selfish. They think men only care about themselves. They think men just take advantage of people. They think men are just predators. Or they've been indoctrinated in thinking this, just like he said. They can't tell from the history books that are real and from the feminist indoctrination books. Almost one and the same to them nowadays. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And see you guys next time. Ciao.